I really don't care.
I am currently recording. I think it will work.
Fuck you.
Alright.
Is that the
Just in time to hear
VOD or is
Dolphin.
that
If you
you
want to
guys?
go brawl, that's fine.
That is the VOD.
Make the choice.
Don't forget to change Frodenite to red spec.
Alright, let me skip forward.
Wow, that's really loud.
Dolphin talking.
But I just... I don't have key strats for that one, so
Fuck 'em.
just you get rolled on second.
Yeah, I don't know why
zone.
the sound is so loud.
It's up to tank and support. Do we want to play around a Bastion? Or do we want to try and...
Okay,
Hold
so
our
good
own,
old
like, brawl.
2CP.
I think Brawl's really
Yay!
good in this first point, just because
Let's see, does
you can
Dolphin
sit
give
on the
me a
high ground
better?
and they push you into room, or you can drop down onto point.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Even,
I mean, if
sorry, even on
Let's
attack,
watch
like
this.
a Simtelli strat, like that wins. That's has won me so many games in comp.
Yeah.
that
Okay,
it's
this is
stupid.
good.
So like, you guys,
This
try,
is good.
if they're not, you could roll with that first.
Okay, so Kua here, if you see your shield immediately getting shredded, that's something that needs to get said, like immediately.
Stop, stop.
I'm gonna die.
Okay.
I'm gonna die.
Morning. What happens here?
Stop.
So the lamp is okay to keep you alive. And
I'm gonna
then
die.
also Kua, you're in a lamp. Instead of going this way, go this way, please, and take the TP onto point. Please. Please.
I'm gonna
Please.
die. Because I'm stuck.
Oh, hey,
Sigma's
there.
lost, Sigma's lost, Sigma's lost. Lamp.
I have no shield. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Come on, Sigma.
I'm shooting shield, shooting a shield.
Okay, at this point, this is where you should get out.
Alright, do you want to swap? It's a Bastion, I can go somewhere here. We can play aggressively. So, we know they're set up on the high ground. What can we do about that? Ah, I got scouted.
We should. Where are they? Up. Okay, I see.
Bastion is up at the back right corner. He's not front. Okay.
Okay, so.
I'm gonna throw down
Yeah,
my
yeah.
translocator. I got
Alright, here we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump out in 3, 2, 1.
Doom no abilities. Doom no abilities. He's hacked here. Marcus is
Okay.
on.
So you taking this 1v1 is not necessarily bad, meh, but also realize what the rest of your team is. And this goes for in general, right? If we're playing a comp like this, Sombra is kind of going to be off on a flank. The rest of our team, we don't have. Who here has a mobility that will let them help? Nobody really, right? Maybe Rhine charges, maybe Morphades, but both of those are kind of suboptimal plays. So yes, it's great that the Doomfist over here is hacked and has no abilities, but we have nothing that can really capitalize on that. If you're gonna go to attack Bastion here, so just disclaimer, I have no clue how this works out. I know like what the final score is, so I know obviously at some point you cap this. I have no idea how individual fights will work out. I didn't watch until overtime. That being said, if this is your plan to mirror the Bastion, with these tanks, you need to wait for your Sombra to try and hack the Bastion or one of the tanks. Because if you're running Rein Zarya, you're going to lose that shield war every single time. Even if you were running double shield to mirror, you're still litty because the defensive Bastion is already set up. Just a little bit dicey.
Dead.
Shield's literally gone. I'm gonna body block for you,
She's
man.
gone, she's gone. You gotta move.
Yes. Okay. So we need to communicate status, things like shield. And then, so if our shield is going low, that's a time where we back out. Or if we have lamp, then we can deploy like our lamp, say, right here around the corner, and we can keep shooting this angle.
You gotta move.
The lamp, a little bit unlucky, comes in a little bit late. Is the video lagging for anybody else, or is that just me?
It is a little bit.
It's choppy right now. Did you pause it?
I just paused it, yes.
Okay,
Alright.
Ryan Zari,
I have bubble.
what is happening?
I'm upstairs. Mercy has no res right now.
We don't have our bastions. We got.
Okay.
I think we switched by now.
So right now, Matt, your whole team is dead. This is where, you know, you can leave your translocator over here in the mega room. Hack a tank from, like, low ground. And just farm your EMP right now. Obviously, you don't want to get picked, so here you're playing really, really safe, but you might as well try and farm a little bit of ult here.
Interesting.
You cut out. What'd you say?
Hey, come to me. I'm gonna put my shit out. You guys have to come to me.
Okay, ready?
Go. Come on, move.
Let's go.
I'm running up.
Bubble
This
here?
is good.
Just go. Okay.
Right here.
What the heck? Okay.
Right in here. Okay, we're good. We're fine.
This
Babs hacks, they have no
this is
lamp.
okay.
Okay.
I'm behind you.
This
Yeah.
is good.
Okay, come on, come up. Go.
Why is this so choppy?
Okay, we got Marcus.
I'm using my ult.
My shield's gone. Okay, go. I'm trying to deploy.
Okay, we win that off of a good window.
Bastion attack.
This is good. This is good.
Good denial of the high ground.
Okay, we're good.
This is good. I like the positioning, Rigo. That's good
That's a
decision.
good setup, Rigo. That's a perfect spot to pick.
Yeah, way to be.
That's good.
I'm gonna go forward and scale.
Yes, absolutely, Matt. You should be
We swap
going
to
forward right
Rupert,
now.
more Bastion.
You should be farming your ult
We
because
take high
I
ground.
think we
If
can-
you-
we can stay on-
so if you farm this EMP a little bit more on first point while you're waiting for your team to respawn, and second point, you can snowball this really easily. So if you know they've just swapped off Bastion, if I don't think anyone actually calls it out, but they've also just swapped their supports. Which, if somebody presses tab and just keeps track of that in between points, that should be like, okay, they don't have these ults. We know this. The other thing is, as soon as you start to win that fight, like as soon as your team gets like 3-4 kills and you're playing Sombra, if you do not have EMP, you should already be going forward to try and farm out the rest of it. Because if you get EMP, you can snowball. Especially because you're coming up on Shatter, you're coming up on Tank ult, and they have no support ults. So you can roll with these 3 ults.
Stay on it. I think we stay on. We
Fine.
just stay top right.
Well,
we're
They're
good.
set
High
up,
ground.
they're set up back right. They're set up back right. Yeah, they're set up back right. Come on. We just push in top right with the Bastion and blow up their shield.
what else do they
Okay,
have?
hold on. I'm not here. Okay, I'm here.
Ready? I'm gonna jump in. 3, 2, 1.
The Doomfist is hacked. Doomfist has ult, but he's hacked.
There's a Reaper
They
kill.
drop down. They drop down.
Okay. I believe...
The Doomfist is hacked. Doomfist has ult, but he's hacked.
There's a Reaper kill.
They drop down. They drop down.
No, back up. We lost
Yeah, back up. I have
I
EMP. I have
can't
EMP.
see anything.
We can back up, reset, and I can go in with the EMP.
No.
Doomfist is left side.
So because you guys have to kind of use that fight to build up
I got
Right, they're all top
their
right.
EMP, they've now built
Are we
tank
set up?
ults, which lets
Okay,
them
we're
stall.
ready. We're ready on you, man.
Alright, hold on. Let me get an opportunity. They're in the staircase. Can you
Just
peek?
let us know when.
Go ahead and peek. Go ahead and peek.
Me?
Alright, 3, 2, 1. EMP.
Go.
Good.
Hold on, Lucio. Lucio's dead.
Oh,
This is good lamp.
Reaper.
Reaper.
Doomfist low, Doomfist low,
These are
Doomfist low.
good.
Doomfist is hacked.
Come on, do
This is all good.
Doomfist dead, Doomfist dead, Doomfist dead.
Sigma, stairwell. Yes.
Where's no go?
Okay, so you guys do end up cleaning up these kills, but little bit of a nitpick here.
Doofus dead. Doofus dead.
Moira uses Fade and fades into the middle of three of you, and Orisa is golded. She's also like half health. This Moira is going to be a lot easier to kill, and also if you kill her first, the Orisa is not going to get healing. So prioritization there, just because, first of all, right, we've got one, we've got our Zarya, we've got our Moira, and our Sombra was over here. That's like 3 people that their Moira is in the middle of. Whereas their Orisa is kind of running off into Narnia. So, yes.
Sorry, I think I broke something.
I
Never
paused
used
it.
this before.
I paused
Sorry.
it. No, it's okay. I'm the only one that can draw things. So, we're good. You guys doing
double
the
check.
out?
Sigma's hacked. Sigma's hacked.
Alright, Slam,
That's
I need
fine.
heals, I got Slam.
Lucy on
Fine.
point.
No,
Um,
I broke it.
Lucio.
Refresh the pit.
Yeah, just refresh.
What's up?
It's broken for Reg. She's fixing it, presumably.
Yeah.
Fixed it.
It's fixed.
Here you go.
Perfect. Cool.
Don't sound too excited, Marlo.
Lucy on point. Lucy on point. Lucy on point.
Tracer.
This is good.
Persona Reed.
You gotta get down.
Be careful.
Tracer,
Yeah.
no read.
So Rigo, be careful about standing up here, especially while their Sigma still stands here. If they don't have their Sigma up here, I'm fine with you sitting up here. But because by now kind of our whole team has dropped down, this is a good time when you should also drop down. Also, instead of maybe running into the midst of their team, just plop yourself down like here, and here I'll pick a different color to emphasize this, and then you can, you know, shoot at their 2 paths out of spawn, and your team can protect you right here. Alternatively, if you also have a lot of time, yes, then setting your Bastion up here and basically bunkering in here is fine. But arguably, I would say setting up like back here is better, because then you have full angles of people coming out of spawn. Also, because now you're like right in the middle of their team there. Rigo.
Reaper's half. Reaper's half. Reaper's half.
Yeah,
At this point, you've lost 3. Now you need to get out.
I'm just
You've
gonna-
lost 3 people.
So I think we moved too far away from the Bastion, but I think that was a good push overall.
Yeah.
They used Bongo there.
I should have moved with you guys when you dropped.
They have beat. They don't have soul, and that's it.
Okay. They probably don't have a single either, right?
I think
They
Reaper's
don't.
got
They
it.
used it.
used flex.
Yeah.
They have Reaper out though.
Yeah, Reaper out.
Let's find Reaper because he likes to flank a lot. So let's make sure that
Ready?
he's out of
Maybe
here.
looking for him.
I'm gonna say field for
Yeah, just peek top right.
I see Reaper.
My
He's
shield's
on us,
going
he's
down,
on us, he's on us.
600,
Look, 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 look.
400.
He's dead, he's dead, he's dead.
Okay, good. This is good.
Windows up, window.
Hurrah! Please don't charge into
I'm
Narnia.
not gonna shatter, never mind. Just go.
I got you, Cliff, I got you, Cliff.
Did Riley fade?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just stay high ground, just stay high ground, just stay high ground, Rigo.
Did he?
Stay high ground.
I'm
Wait,
not sure that should have worked.
He's up. They
I
got him.
should not have.
Shoot your back.
I also, you have no idea. So I'm watching this for the first time. You have no idea how scared I get
Yeah, just peek.
right here when the Reaper is teleporting into you guys and nobody hears this or sees it. Little bit scared.
My shield's going down.
Thankfully, you guys managed.
He's dead, he's dead, he's dead. He wasted his ult.
I'm not shooting.
Thankfully, you guys delete it and you get good field.
Okay, we're diving in.
Doofus low. Doofus low. Doofus low.
Shattering? Oh, I'm not gonna shatter, never mind. Just go.
I got you, Cliff, I got you, Cliff. So you're good.
Yeah. I'll go point. Just stay high ground, just stay high ground, just stay high ground, Rigo. Just stay high ground.
Yeah. So in this case, Rigo, you don't need to drop necessarily because there's not a Sigma that can just sit back here and hide and shoot you around a corner.
He's low. So you got him.
This is good cleanup.
Make her re.
Tracer, no recall.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying
Ryan.
Tracer here, get her,
Ryan.
call location.
Kill the Ryan.
There's Sigma ult.
This is all good. All good.
We got it, we got it.
Okay.
Sigma 9.
We're getting there.
Nice.
Maybe
We just
could
gotta
clean up a
see
little
if we have
faster,
a bit
but
of dust on us.
not the
We
worst.
gotta brush that off.
Just gotta warm up.
it is what it
It's
is.
like all the communication. Once we like communicate it, it's like going really well. So let's just keep that up. And
Alright.
go.
Alright, do we want to
Christ.
play Junk Bastion on this defense?
So,
Since they did a test?
Hey, Bastion.
so did Dolphin tell you to set up here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because personally, I like to set up. I'm of the opinion we should set up here, and then
As they come up
What
the
you-
left side, you rotate.
what you do is you sit here. Yes, if so, because then when they're coming through here, right, you have a little bit more of an aggressive sightline on them, and you're not giving up this space as freely. If you see them rotate this way and they get through cleanly, or they TP under you, whatever, that's when you rotate back over to here. So if they like TP under you or TP straight to point, you can just set up here and spam down in through the window. Or if they decide to rotate up and left, you kind of place yourself like more or less as far back as possible to keep as much space between you, and let your Bastion just fire down this lane. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then for Rego, with your Junkrat, you can, if they're running like just kind of like a bunker comp, you can put your trap, especially like your first trap. We've talked about this a little bit. Put it aggressively, like put it around one of these corners, or like right here. Get yourself some free ult charge. Maybe get a kill because you have a Bastion. If you see they're running like dive, which again basically nobody runs because dive is dead, haha. But maybe not for long. You literally throw your trap on top of Bastion. So anybody who dives gets trapped. And alternatively, if they're running like a really flanker heavy comp, like they're running Doomfist Sombra, Doomfist Reaper, again, then you just put your trap on like, one of the flank spots, or like over here.
I think the call was to do it on point in case they teleported again, but I guess it was effective.
So here's the thing. If you sit here, I believe you have a little bit of vision onto point. But first of all, you have enough time that if you see, you should identify that they're trying to TP to point, because their main tank is probably going to come out and stand with a shield up while they put up TP, right? So if you see that, that's when some of your team can start rotating around over to here, right? And then eventually you want your whole team sitting here, and then the rotation works more or less the same as always. First, your Sigma is going to drop, and at this point, your healers are pretty much pocketing your Sigma. As Sigma, you're trying to stay alive for as long as possible and prevent, basically give your Bastion time to melt down things. And then after the Sigma, or if the Sigma starts getting low, then your Orisa can drop when she has all her cooldowns. Because the Bastion can sit up here unshielded pretty safely because he's got high ground. Yeah. Also because, again, remember, you can give up 32.9% before you need to contest, and they have no permanent progress. And treat progress like it's okay. Fun explanation time with Ronaldo. So Overwatch is basically like a game of currency, and I'm going to do some really bad writing. Okay, so you have your abilities. Called abilities. Those include like your ultimates. So you have your abilities. You have time. You have objective. And and you have space or positioning. I'm going to call it space because it's easier to write out and it's shorter. So essentially, in Overwatch, you have like 4 major resources, currencies, and you're basically trading some of these for other ones at any given point in time, right? Defensively, you are trying to trade abilities, objective progress, and a little bit of space if you have to get as much time off the clock, right? Because it's the same as like if you're trying to stall a point at the end of the game, or like at the end of 2 CP. Obviously, yes, you're also trying to win, but you're trying to force out abilities, and you're giving up some objective progress. Maybe like you get that's where the whole like give 2 ticks and then contest, and you're giving up a little bit of space to burn off time on the clock, right? Because that's how you win. On offense, you are trading. The idea here on offense is that you're trading as economically as possible. You want to trade your abilities and time and a little bit of space if you have to for objective progress, right? That's at its core, that's more or less what Overwatch is about. When you're attacking, you're trying to get the objective. That's the ultimate thing that matters, is the objective. Defensively, the thing that really matters is killing all the time off the clock. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're using all these other 3 things to get that one thing you want, depending on whether you're attacking or defending. Control is a little bit of both attack and defense, depending on whether or not you control the point. So by setting up here, you take a little bit more space, and ideally you're burning off more time because you're making it harder for them to get through this zone here, right? Because your Bastion has a little bit more of an aggressive angle. And then you're hoping to make them use more. You're hoping to make the other team use more of their abilities to buy space, to buy objective. So personally, I'm just a fan of a little bit more of a
back left. I don't see anything.
aggressive
They're left side.
but it's
They're all left.
not necessarily bad. This is good. You scout this out. Spam is good.
Maywall.
So here, you see them going under.
Where's it dead? I need to scoot up.
So even though you get there is a yes, good. I already see it starting to happen. You should be rotating here already. You don't need to drop yet,
Scoot up.
but you need to rotate there. This is good.
They're all
Reaper low.
helping.
Reaper low left side. Reaper low left side.
Kura, you need to get your shield up here.
Shoot it.
Shooting right side. Shooting right side.
Do you remember what happens to you here, Blue?
I dropped down because it was halfway to a tick, and I didn't realize exactly where the enemy team was. So my butt got touched very badly.
Yeah, so remember you can give up a little bit more before you have to touch. And if you give up 1 tick at the cost of winning the team fight, it's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Reaper low left side.
Hold on,
Reaper's dead, Reaper's dead, Reaper's dead.
I'll talk to Dolphin about this. This is also one of the reasons why, personally, I like running a Mercy in this comp, just that you have a res after this in case somebody dies, then you're still at 6. Again, Rigo, remember, don't give up high ground if you don't need to, right? Like, you can get this same value just lobbing your nades down from this window, or even from the ledge up here. right? Like there's, yes, arguably you're more accurate at standing right here next to the Mei, but that's also within range of the Mei to easily freeze and kill you, you know? So,
Rigo likes that close quarters Junkrat action.
don't worry, I'm well aware of this. I have noticed, but this goes for everybody in general,
Right,
right?
Rigo?
Consider just consider what you're like. Obviously, like I get in the moment you don't have time to like process everything, but like afterwards, or like if you're playing ladder, think about it for a second and be like, okay, so if I'm up here and let's say I'm playing Junkrat, what do I get playing up here versus what do I get standing down here right next to where the whole enemy team is over here? Okay. If your value down over here is massively greater than up here, let's say you're playing like a Reaper or a Mei, and so thus your value is much higher at close range, then absolutely drop down. But if your value is about the same or like even higher from high ground, there's no reason to give up that high ground, right?
Got you.
Yeah, stay up there, stay up there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Here.
I'll be back shortly.
Versus main.
We don't have a
Um,
shield.
I'm coming back high ground, I'm coming back high ground.
Okay.
Reaper,
yeah.
Reaper.
You guys arguably could have tried to push the 3 people over here a little bit more. Like try and pull them out. Or the other thing is, you guys could have tried to move up here and tried to farm the Orisa on her approach back, because you know she's coming back because she got picked early, right? Why does Kua drop? Let me see.
May I?
I think it's for contest.
So, but at this point, it's just a Mei. We still have Rigo. And then I believe the Mei backs out after killing Rigo.
Nice left.
So, well, Rigo knocks her away and then gets finished off.
I'm dropping down.
Kua, there's not really much reason for you to drop off the high ground into the middle of their team alone, because your healers are standing over here. There's not a sightline on this. Your Bastion can't see this to support you. So you're basically dropping in 1v4. And arguably you're a little bit lucky to survive this. So again, right? Just what are you getting by dropping? Are you going to confirm like 2 kills, 3 kills? If not, just stay on the high ground. Right? Because then you can just stay up here with your Bastion and you're already in position. If they try and come out and come to point again, you just mow them.
Rigo.
Just stay up there.
I got you.
Yeah, stay up there, stay up there.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'll be back shortly.
Versus main, versus
Yeah, we don't
Reaper.
have a shield.
I'm coming back high ground, I'm coming back high ground.
Okay.
Reaper.
Someone's on my
I
trap.
slept him, I
This
slept him.
is a good
Nice. He's
field.
right.
Super no fade.
This
I did not.
is not bad. This is pretty good. This is not bad. Like this is a good
Orisa dead.
good contest. Like
I'm reloading.
On the hog.
Oh, kill him. Reaper no raid?
Where from?
Yeah, I watched that from Riley's point of
We
view.
all- we all-
Oh shit. Okay, I should have.
That's my fault. I should have opened.
I'm on here. I'm not getting frozen. Shoot the main.
Hold
Shoot the
it,
main.
3-1.
Shoot the main. Shoot the main.
Mason nice.
Pull in.
Focus mate.
okay. Don't just blindly shoot an ice wall. If you clear one section of it so you can keep shooting at a team, yes, sure. But there's also a Lucio shooting you. Shoot the Lucio over the ice wall at this point.
I need help.
Got the.
Nice.
Is May dead? Where did May go?
Alright, let's get back to high ground.
Yeah, I'm going up.
Which way are
Okay.
you going?
Also, they've kept coming this way, so don't go up these stairs. That takes you towards their team. Go this way.
I think he. Yeah, you'll see.
Right side.
There's one bottom left. I saw him in the room.
I'm this way.
He accidentally scouted.
You're going to the team. I'm like, you're gonna die. Bro. No.
Okay, let's use Matrix soon, like as fast as we
I'm gonna
can.
drop trap
Yeah,
again.
as they push it, drop in front of
I'm
me. Go.
pulling. I'm pulling.
Go.
So yes, so this is the right call. This needs to get done earlier. So like, as soon as you see them poke out, this amp matrix should be up. At the very least, like, obviously, yes, we'd like to see you get value out of amp matrix, but it's better to use amp matrix too early than too late. Because at the very least, it's going to force them, it's going to burn off like 12 seconds, right? Because they're not going to want to peek that. So at the bare minimum, they're going to get 12 seconds out of it. So again, right, you're trading an ult for time. Because see here now they've managed to get all the way under you guys, and we're still holding on to field. So this is a situation where you want to be proactive with your ults.
Rotate. Top window, yeah, right. I got
So again, you got.
Oh, I got it.
It's good.
I'm holding. I'm getting out.
What happens to Matt?
I got shield. Shield now.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, it's on us. I'm holding. I'm getting
I'm
out.
blizzard. I'm dead.
I'm on point.
Yeah.
Maze dead.
Alright, I'm
Fuck.
We're gonna start next.
One at a time.
Yeah.
One at a time. One at a time.
Yes, one at a time. Riley, you can stay standing up here, and then you can heal our BAP and still get value from the high ground and be in less danger.
Not two at a time. One at a time.
I got pulled in.
That's okay.
We're still up there.
Just...
No, everybody that just
Yeah,
respawned.
this is
Just falling. Stay
Yeah,
with
that's
me.
good. That's good time bank.
Stay with me.
this is a good time
I'm on Reaper.
Just
I'm on Reaper now.
swap
I'm on
up
the Bastion.
Oh, yeah,
John
but I'm sitting on
Rat.
the like at this
Okay.
corner.
I got trap upper left.
Okay, are we
we
gonna go
should
back,
take
right?
it.
That's cool.
No, for
Yeah,
the
we
church
should
fight at least.
take high.
Because you guys all died so cleanly, and also, you know, like, new 2 CP spawns are 3 seconds, and you know you've got a couple kills, so they're not going to have clean spawns. You can actually stay on the Bastion comp and set up here. It's like, that's not a bad play,
We should take high ground. We shouldn't give it.
especially because you know they've dropped Blizzard, right?
Could
It's then
run
like
the split defense.
mm,
You know what I'm talking about?
you don't even really need to run the split. Like, you can literally just bunker up here, right? Because you can see the entire point. You
Well,
can see them if they come this way.
So
You can
I just say this because I'm a nerd and I thought it was a really cool way of doing the comp. Is they had what did they have? They had Orisa up there with Bastion and
Yeah.
one of the healers, and then May was on the other side so that they could wall it off.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Somebody else, maybe the other tank. So basically, half the team
yeah.
on one side, half on the other, and so they had to choose who to go after. If they go for the Bastion, you wall them off. If they go after May, then the Bastion murders them.
The only dangerous part about this, like, I get what you're talking about. The only dangerous part is that you're voluntarily splitting yourself, and that makes it harder. If either side gets collapsed on, then it makes it harder to kind of survive that. Because they're probably all going to collapse on one side. Speaking of May, this is also not as strong a Junkrat point because you don't really have high ground control, which is where, because Junkrat's better when you a little bit better when you have high ground control, so then you can shoot down, because Junkrat shooting up or straight across is not as optimal. So May would be not bad here because you can control these chokes. And also, especially if you continue to bunker, you can May to split people if they try and rotate all the way around behind.
Give it to him for free.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they're up there.
But we don't know where they are because we're not.
Also, you guys have dropped
It
ult
looks like we go
tracking
bottom left. They're
here.
on bottom left.
Okay.
I see a few people on the
Okay,
So Blue, why do you drop off here?
Can I say it again? There's
I'm-
a point when I lag and then I fall off.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
They're going bottom left.
You're up here,
okay.
I see a few people
and
on the
then
left.
you jump
Okay,
off.
I'm
And then that's when I lagged off.
Okay,
Like, oh.
because you can stand up here and shoot through this door. That's the same. This is another spot where
I'm pulling there. Reaper on top, Reaper on top.
you know you don't need to.
Go on top, he's
I'm on Reaper.
I'm shooting Reaper.
Okay.
Reaper. I'm pulling.
Morning call if you're gonna throw lamp, because we threw a lamp, which is actually not a bad spot to counter the Reaper ult, and then like our entire team drops down away from the lamp. And I wanna watch this again. So Rigo knocks him off. Again, Rigo, you don't need to jump off here, right? Just stand up here and shoot into their masses. Sorry, that's a really blurry picture. Right? Or, you know, even you can walk over to this side if they throw shields at you, and you can shoot in from behind the shield.
I'm on Reaper.
I'm shooting Reaper.
I'm freezing.
I'm pulling.
Bless you.
I'm dead.
Switch to stall, I think. Yeah, switch to stall.
Yeah, switch to stop.
I'm like,
Okay. Oh, nice pick on it. We only have Moira for here.
So, I can't remember if Dolphin has talked to you about this, but if you have 3 people on the point, it does not contest harder than if you have 1 person on the point. I think we've probably talked about this.
I think we just
like, I know it's really, really hard, and instinctively you're like, it's overtime, throw yourself onto the point, stall. Instead, like, just put 1 person like actually on the point and like literally just on a corner of a point and just basically dance on and off, because you'll prevent progress. And then the rest of you can like stand around point and shoot, and you're basically trying to get a pick. And then if you get a pick or you get 2 picks, you know, that's when you all start pouring onto point and you're trying to clean up a fight, right? Because right now we are Moira, our Lucio, and Rigo, who is now dead, but all 3 of them basically threw themselves onto point at the same time, right? And so this can lead to like 3 kills at once, when instead, so then you have 3 people dead in a span of like 2 seconds, when you can draw it out a little bit longer by going 1, and then the next, and then the next. Does that make sense?
yeah.
For heals, only have Moira.
Who's the best person who did the dancing on?
Ideally, like, if you have your tanks alive, you want your tanks to be on point first, because they have a ton of health, and then your healers are basically pocketing them. And because they're the hardest to kill, because they have the most health. But it's more, like, in particular, like, your healers are sort of last-ditch people to get on there. Unless, like, it's a Zen with trance kind of thing. So like here, this is good from Riley. Again, so Kua here, you don't need to throw yourself onto point. You can just sit here behind your shield and shoot and do the exact same thing you can do by standing right here. Also, don't gold to engage, please. Don't gold. I know they only have 3 alive, and I think in theory you should win this. If you don't, I will be very, very disappointed. As Orisa, golding is basically your get out of jail card. It's like your fade on Reaper or Moira. So don't use it to engage. Use it to get you out of trouble.
Reaper.
Because see, now you're stuck in front of a Reaper and you've already golded, and your shield is back here. right? We still had a baby diva on point, so you could have just stood here, shot. When baby diva comes, come stand here. If your shield cooldown comes off, you put down shield here, and you shield dance. And then if you get into trouble still, you gold, keep shield dancing, put down a new shield, right? And you draw this out even longer, and Riley can pocket you with Cole.
I'm dead. Nice big
I don't know if you said...
There's B.
I don't know if you said it, Riley, but if you didn't, you already know what I'm going to say. Say when you press Q. Rigo, you're rushing your tires a little bit. I've noticed, kind of from what I've been watching more. Like, I know it's OT, and like, so like your heart rate is like through the roof. Just take a moment, like, and just take a moment. Also, again, you know, because we do still have people who are out here to contest point. You can go to high ground. You can go to high ground and pop it from high ground, and then it's a little bit less danger. Just in general, if you see them beat, just wait, like, because if you tire and the Lucio beats it perfectly, like, and Lucio is just beaten when you pop tire, they will live through it. If you wait, let some of the shields fade, and then pop your tire, you'll get your kills. Right, because you have 10 seconds on tire. So just run it against a wall for like 5, and then go in. Kind of thing.
One of their tanks on the wall.
Stabilize. Kill it.
Ball's gonna come in.
Okay, thank God you guys win this.
Lucio.
Nice. Good job.
If you didn't, I was gonna have issues.
We go high ground now.
This is here. We have cleaned up this fight. This is where I like to call it go high ground. This is also where you now assess. What else do they have? What else do we have? Right? If you, let's say, you could very well do this, but let's say you identify they have Blizzard. Then it becomes, what are we going to do about Blizzard? How do we play against Blizzard? If we go, they have Reaper ult. Again, how do we deal with this? Things like that, right? So I want to see you guys start to use this downtime between fights to get on that a little more.
They use Reaper ult.
They use Whole Hog at the very beginning.
Okay, so they should have May and Super.
Yeah, they have Blizzard and Supercharger. They're probably decently close to...
Oh my...
This is also a good time, Blue. Again, I probably swap off Diva here. Now we've stabilized, because you only have 25%. Like, if you were like 80% to ult kind of thing, I'd be like, okay, sure, stay. But because you're only at like 25, this is where you might as well swap back something.
My gosh.
Looks like
Yeah.
they're going bottom right. Bottom right. Bottom right.
Bottom right.
All the way around.
Back,
All the way around.
back,
Save here.
Oh, fuck.
We'll
Alright.
know when to drop.
I'm right here.
Can we drop?
Yeah.
Let's just go for it. Let's just drop with him.
Shoot the shield.
Oh, Reaper. Reaper.
You see me?
There's Mayo. I have no
I'm frozen. I have ult on respawn. Ult on respawn.
Trying to die on point.
Oh, nice.
Oh my
We go
God,
nice.
I'm alive by 13. Shit.
I'll go.
I'm on my way. I'm on my
Let
way.
me switch, Gabe.
Fuck. That's unlucky.
Oh, I thought we had another few seconds.
So again, you guys are
Dude, the game, like, it does that.
giving
it
up
does
high
that
ground
hero blitz where I,
a
like,
little
try to
bit-
switch, but it let me pick a
a
hero.
little bit too
That's cool.
easily for
We had around the same time.
not really like a major reason.
So they're probably gonna run the Bastion again. So what I think we should do, we should run like Ryan Orisa, do the Sim Telly strat, and
this
then
is-
just hug the front wall.
Okay. As soon as you see this, this is like, they should be a signal that you have been scouted. They know what is coming. Also, I think I said this. Please don't just blindly teleport. Like, when you're putting your TP in meh, you should be able to see that they're all standing on point. And you should immediately be going, no, don't take TP. Rigo, like Dolphin said, we are glad to see that like you immediately go in and TP, and there was an attempt.
They're on point, they're on
But
point, they're on point.
you then TP blindly on your own. Like you have, especially as Bastion, you have to make sure you wait for one of your tanks to get in there and get a shield for you. Don't do it.
They were ready.
And so in here, this is where you back up. The other thing is, if you know they're down here, what you can do is you can TP like up here, or like even here, I don't know the exact TP range, and then play it as if you were like defending and just shoot down onto the point, shoot the fish in the barrel.
Okay, just reset. I'm gonna go die.
Here, Matt, there's no reason for you to push into them to die. Just, you've lost your Bastion, just back up. Back up.
I'm gonna go die.
Because then you
I'm
feed
gonna
them all
go
church.
Stairwell, bro. We're gonna be in the stairwell.
I'm gonna go Reaper here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Reaper here. We gotta go right side. We gotta go now.
This is one fight.
This sucked.
Yeah, Kua, you don't need to stand. Like, you might as well just stand here, where Riley is, so that in case anything happens to you, Riley just sticks his hand up your butt and shoves in Moira's yellow magic.
Okay. Yeah,
right? Because
It's fine, he likes
here now, Marcus is trying to hack you, and then eventually you get hooked by the hawk because you're basically isolating yourself. But if you stand here next to Riley, that makes it a lot harder for both those things to happen.
Got out. Oh, hog, no, what the fuck? Leave me alone.
I'm going up.
Leave me alone.
And pop field. Dude, where's the hog? The hog by himself, let's go.
I'm bottom right. I fell. I got pulled.
Leave me alone.
And pop field. Dude, where's the hog?
Nah, you're like 200 health. You don't necessarily need to commit this fade here.
The hog by himself, let's go.
I'm bottom right. I fell. I got pulled.
We got 10 seconds. He's
Yeah,
gonna go now.
Yeah, if I don't point,
There's a somewhere behind us, somewhere behind us.
Here, you guys just trying to gutter, things just gutter shit, and
There's a hog behind, turn around.
Riley calls like 4 times, there's a hog behind, and nobody turns around until Kua gets hooked and is forced to turn around.
Well, we have to get on point was the thing. It's like 2 seconds left.
Right. But just like in general, if one of your supports is yelling, there's a hog behind. Okay, let me rephrase that because Riley's not yelling. So Riley, there needs to be a little bit more urgency in that call. It needs to be more than just like, because there's a hog behind and let's go bottom right was like the same intensity. There's a hog behind, like on me, needs to be a lot more urgent. There needs to be a little bit more urgency conveyed in that. Because let's go bottom right and oh my god, there's a hog on top of me, have different levels of importance. One of them is much higher than the other, and that needs to come across in comms so that your teammates know that it's like, okay, I need to turn around right now. Obviously, yes, it is overtime, you're right, so that does affect some of these things, but just in general, that like...
We're all dead.
I just gained full...
It's not like... Not like the only time it's ever happened where, you know, like, somebody says, there's a hog behind like 4 times and nobody
so
turns.
2 minutes. It's still very doable. It's 110.
I think that was just a situation where we got ourselves in a shitty situation.
So weird. Why not?
Yeah, you guys also kind of didn't help yourselves. You guys kind of
that was a problem we solved 30 seconds before all that happened.
Yeah.
Or a minute.
Right. So again, remember, like, use your time between fights to do some of these things, like to plan what you're gonna do instead. Right. So if you change your plan from TP to point, right, use that time in between the fights to be like, okay, where are we going from next? So that you're not doing it once you've all grouped up and you're trying to figure out where you're going and wasting more time, right? Because while you're waiting for people to respawn, you can be like, okay, this is where we're going.
Late, but I'm gonna be there for the fight.
You're not.
I think Dolphin yells at Riley for not getting...
Do left side.
Yeah,
It's Lucio or Sahag.
He was playing Anna. made it like halfway around. He's like, nah,
Yeah,
He does
Bono would have
You're
been
on bottom
fine.
left.
before anything
Um,
really bad happened.
Yeah, Rigo, you got if the shield moves. Kua, first of all, you need to say that the shield is moved. So I don't think you do.
I
would
did.
go back.
I said I'm rotating because they're moving up. I'm like, Ray, go back up, and he moved
You're on
later
bottom
because he
left.
was still shooting.
Yep.
I'm here with you, Blue.
Okay, you put your shield here, and Rigo's still sitting here, and I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
Reloading.
So we go back a little further. Okay, you're scouting. This is fine.
Oh,
This is
I didn't get my
good.
E off. Didn't get my E
I
off.
got the mark.
They're low.
I got hacked.
I'm staying up.
Actually, probably.
Hog's low.
Pulling.
Again, you don't need to drop yet, right? They haven't even started contesting point, so just like stay up here. Spam. You can spam off the corner of the door and around this corner, right? Just getting some free damage, and then once they actually make it to point, then you can drop down. You also don't necessarily need to be down. So yeah, cool, right? Like you've positioned your shield, and okay, Rigo, yes, you should probably also notice there's no longer a shield in front of you. But cool, also say something if you're going to move your shield so that Rigo knows to move back.
Again, I did. He was gonna move, and the Stormer tried to hack him, so he turned around to shoot her.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything.
It was me.
You're going bottom left.
Yep.
Was that the
I'm
call?
here with you, Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, Rigo.
I heard.
I didn't hear anything.
I heard they're going.
Gerbil.
I heard they're going bottom left, and then I hear Mess say, "I'm with you, Blue." I hear nothing about you rotating, Kua.
This is probably muffled in comms, or I didn't say it loud enough.
You're going bottom left.
Because I said it. I know I said it. I'm like, hey, Rigo, move.
here
We
with
gotta
you, Blue.
rotate.
Okay.
I do not hear this at all.
Reloading.
They're low.
Shit. Because I know I said it. I for sure said it. Because I was saying it the whole time to Rigo.
They're low.
Be right back.
Because like this has to be communicated. Rigo, you also have to notice that there's no longer a shield in front of you and
Can't see anybody.
move.
They're still on the bottom.
I'm pretty low.
I'm on my way back.
As a general thing, Rigo, if they come under you, just that should be like a sign immediately. Like as soon as they start going that route, you should already be starting to rotate back over here to that window.
They're low. My shield's broken.
Oh, I didn't get my E off. Didn't get my E off.
I got the mark.
They're low.
I got hacked.
I'm staying up.
Actually, probably.
Hog's low.
Pulling.
Riley,
Can't
you
see
don't
anybody.
need to drop here.
I'm pretty low.
I'm on my way back.
Lucio,
Dolphin
one
stuff.
mid, one
there's
bottom
a-
left.
Lobby host.
The hog's going right.
Yeah,
Hog's
but-
going right, Blue.
I was going.
Yeah.
Yes, love this view.
I lost him, but.
Somber's
he
the left
was.
side.
Scuff lobby.
I got
Oh, what?
Bash got yanked.
Run
Bash
for you,
point.
Bastion.
I'm going to point. I'm going to point.
We're gonna go left side of the point.
Dropping.
There you go.
Watch out for the hog.
We're back corner of point.
Nice quest, Iron Man.
Their win condition is EMP, guys. At this point.
Oh no, I lost the audio.
And-
There we go.
Yeah.
Hog on the right. Hog on the right.
This is
Hog on the right.
good.
Right here.
Pulling in
Pop
front.
up is kind of
Where's
feeding.
Brent? Where's that? They didn't no support.
Good, you kill him.
Hog's ulting.
Yeah.
I'm reloading.
I'm shooting this Arista shield.
Hog's still on the right side.
Hog no hook.
So this is where you can get a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, this changes a little bit because you've now lost Meh. But before that, you know you've picked both their healers. You can like throw your shield here and then push onto this Orisa.
Whatever
Back
Blue's
here.
doing, it's not good.
They're gonna throw mace to him.
Come back to the shield. Come back to the shield. But you're right.
Watch out for the mace.
EMP is coming this fight.
Because now the Orisa has
So,
survived
Just
this
hide,
entire
just hide
time.
separate. Yeah, just hide. Yeah, they're gonna EMP. Just
Anybody
is this
pull the
fight.
mace?
This is
I
their
am.
last fight right here.
Marcus.
Last fight. He's old.
She got out. I'm on. I'm pulling.
Where's the down?
So cool. Maybe.
There
Number one.
Somebody's dead. Hog on the back.
Somehow we clean this up.
I see 9.
Yeah.
Did you see the bolts in AC9? Yeah.
By the way, like, feel free to interrupt me at any point if you have a question.
Yeah.
I've just been talking. Okay, are there any questions about that map?
Why is Marcus so bad at Sombra?
Because he has been mentally boomed playing Sombra on
Yeah,
HLC,
why is he
and
so
he
bad
has
at Sombra,
never.
bro? What?
Hold on a second. Let me.
That's
Alright.
what happens when Ronaldo cooks him as Zenyatta, bro.
Would you? It wasn't even me. Would you like to? Would you like? Here, I will find you this link right now.
Oh my god.
Just to piss off.
A video of it.
Just to piss off Marcus. I will find
Get
this
the
link.
clip. Just add him at it too, bro.
Oh, I will. You already know.
Oh shit.
Who's
FYI, guys, I just fucking woke up.
Yeah, you sound like it.
Yeah.
Literally, I woke up like not even 20 minutes ago. So
What is wrong with your life, dude?
Bro, I was just playing Destiny, bro. I was just fucking having a great old time.
Alright. Let's find this. Stage 2.
I'm here now too.
Hey!
Echo 6 versus Flashpoint.
Go 6.
But now we're done with the games I played in. So
Oh,
I guess
look.
I'm just
Look,
here.
guys, they knew
Unlucky.
Echo was going to be in the
Hey, there's
game.
still something to learn.
Big brains.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Ready? Watch from 1 minute and 50 seconds. Or 1 hour. I'm posting this in general chat.
Oh, yes. Yes. 1 minute and what?
1
1
hour.
hour. And
1
50
hour?
seconds. Watch Marcus get boomed for 4 minutes. Watch this on your own time.
Oh.
I'm going to
I'm watching it
continue
right
VOD
now.
review. This is why Marcus is bad at Sombra, because he has been mentally boomed for 4 minutes and cannot recover.
For Echo 6.
What was it? 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 hour, and 4
1 hour and 50 seconds.
Composition here.
How about 1 hour and
set up in a
30
position. Usually the diva should be. Usually the diva
He's,
would be.
why are they
That's
in
not the
space?
spot.
Bruh.
Why are they in space?
That
There's a
was-
whole lot of areas for
that was a
Summer to
poor
sneak in
choice.
and get a hack.
I don't know why
So,
so many teams
you know,
kept
if
using the space
Grumpy
rotation.
Kitten is doing
Space
his job
rotation
in
bad.
spy
Don't do
checking
it.
well.
Yeah, no, it's super bad.
He will find that Sombra. Sombra's gonna get
This is why
yoinked.
Seal shits on Marcus all the time.
Oh, he found him almost immediately there, and it looks like they're gonna keep going with this composition here. Grumpy
Oh,
Kitten
that
kinda
sucked,
set up in a
Reinhardt.
position.
You fucking
Usually
charged
the
the whole
diva
wall.
should be, usually the diva would be starting
No,
on
I
top
pulled
and
him.
then drop onto point.
Oh, you did.
I pulled him back.
When they need to, 'cause this
I
is
pulled
more
him
of a
back. I saw that
treehouse
coming.
composition.
Bro, yours
And
and
here we
Yada's
go, Grumpy
fucking
Kitten. Is he gonna
killing
get caught
all
out
this.
because of this? No, he flies No, away
able to
very
escape.
quickly. He knows what's going on. God damn it, you people
Hey.
in
Much rather could play
space.
Zen, so he can kill everybody.
Oh, they're going into space. And let's see, are Flashpoint? They're gonna meet him there. It looks like they're gonna play it smart. They're gonna say wait, but all
Guys,
of
remember the days when
all
Arista
of,
Shield was normal?
Echo 6 here, they're kind of just waiting on the
Yeah, it
outside.
will
I'm
be.
not too sure what they're
This could
waiting
be
on. They're
less
probably
than
gonna be waiting on a
normal,
hack from
quick.
Marcus. So, but again, they
Very.
wasted a minute here, and they've yet to even.
all they had to do was, like,
basically
nerf
barely
Sigma
engage
shit.
onto him. Oh, here it comes
I
now.
think pressure.
Here comes the engage. They're gonna run right straight onto Paco Taco. He's been a sniper here with the right click.
Dude,
Oh,
the Zen is
Jesus.
right. What?
Play there by Cristiano
What?
Ronaldo, saving his
Marcus,
team,
how?
saving his back.
Don't
Jesus,
understand.
what a they barely engaged onto him. Oh, here it comes now. Here comes the engage. They're gonna run right straight onto Paco.
Why are they still in
He's been a
space,
sniper
bro?
with
I
the right
don't
click.
jump off the edge.
Oh, that's silly. Anyway, sorry. Okay.
We're doing Nimbani.
What we're gonna do is this is gonna be
No,
one,
can we not?
and this part right
Shit.
over here is gonna be 2.
Nope.
Entire point
We're
for
doing Nimbani.
So you can see
Can we-
Do not go here.
So you need to
Can
be
we- can we
either
skip
here,
it? Calm.
or right there.
I'm
So that's
here
one and
to
that's 2.
learn.
Easy.
Easy.
Don't.
So we're dropping knowledge.
Rigo, never drop to low ground unless there's a specific call.
That's
fair.
okay.
So you don't ever need it.
They're
That DM though.
going out right side.
Alright.
My favorite thing is listening to Dolphin's
Right.
comments.
There's just
You need to be
Uh,
sarcastic, though.
Hey, Wall.
Why would you use booster?
This. I
Don't
remember
boost
watching
him.
this.
I
Yes.
know. I know. I just. I think I say fuck because I
This-
boosted
No.
in.
I know. This goes for any tank. Do not use a movement ability on 2 point.
So this is
Never,
actually
ever,
something
ever,
that we've
ever, ever.
talked about since Scrub Cup.
I know. I
Oh, I
just
know.
forgot.
It's like an inside
Go-
joke for a while. I say inside joke.
Yeah. But like, don't worry, it's a thing that like
It's
our
like
tanks
me
got drilled
jumping.
on. We got drilled on for like 4 months about this.
I did
For,
get
like,
drilled
the-
on it
For
too.
all of Aloe Season 2,
I
my
just-
coach...
Oh, she's
he
gotten
used to
hit on it
rip
a
us-
lot.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Blue. You play Diva like minimal.
Yeah,
It's alright.
But in general, right? Don't use your movement abilities. Don't use your like damage absorbing cooldowns to get onto point. So I guess for Sigma, don't use your suck to get onto point. Use it to get yourself out. Or if you're playing the, obviously we are not playing dive, but just hypothetically, if we are playing dive, right? If you're Winston, you just drop down onto point, use your jump to come back up and get healed. Diva drops down onto point, boosts back up. Right? Same for, like all these, like Kua, don't gold down onto point. Drop down onto point with your shield, and then gold on point.
Would Monkey be a good contest hero? Or something like this?
He's quick.
Yeah.
I mean, like it depends. Winston's
What
actually
the
not
hell?
bad.
I
It
don't think he
obviously
pulls
it's like
out the damage that Diva does though.
it's meta. Obviously, these things are all very meta dependent and like what your team is running. But like if you were running a dive comp, Winston's actually not bad. Like this
Well,
used to
I
be
was
a
thinking of
Winston
it more
Goats.
as like a map specific thing where you want to hold high ground.
Yeah,
back up.
Numbani was quite Numbani first was a Winston map. Like even in Goats, that's why they'd all defensively you play Winston Goats because you can just sit here around the corner, get a ton of cleave as they come out, and then or if they come under again, like you just stand on the high ground and tickle them from the high ground.
Zap, zap.
Or you do the same from over here and you just tickle down, and then you can drop down, contest point when you start to get low, jump out, get healed, and you just cycle this over and over again. And that's the idea. And in the meantime, hopefully the rest of your team is getting a pick or two.
Is that
So basically, because you boosted onto point Blue, now you get frozen because you're not able to escape.
Yeah.
So ideally, you're just walking onto point, and also like
No, I
just-
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like I get it. It happens. You can actually just like you also don't need to go all the way into middle of point,
Mm,
right? Like you can just stand here and contest.
right.
We have a Bab who can shoot down to heal you, right? And you're still contesting here the same amount as if you're here, right? So it's the same as if like we have 3 people on point or 1 person on point. If you stand on the very corner of point or in the center of point, it's still the same. Yeah, you yourself might get like a little less damage done, but you're also putting yourself out in less danger. Riley, you also don't really need to be standing over here
I don't think you're gonna say that right now.
and putting yourself at more danger. Just stand behind the shield.
I'm reloading.
Get in the field.
Maze Ice?
Pharmacy's
Field
right
comes
side.
with still
Move
blades.
left, move left, move left.
I'm on point.
Point 2, move to point 2.
If you're gonna rotate all the way around there, that needs to come way earlier. I think Dolphin says that.
I need
Moving,
to heal
moving.
Riley.
I got comboed by the Sigma. I'm dead.
Yeah, contest.
I'm gonna res Riley.
Contest. You
Bush
guys,
is dead. The
This
bush
is
is
good
dead.
res.
contest.
They have no mercy.
You guys jump down.
Nope.
Okay, here at this point, like you might as well just run this way and throw yourself off the edge and feed plus ult charge. Because like
That's right.
if you come here,
I thought
you're
you were
not
with me.
stopping progress, right? Because the cart still has to activate. Also, Riley, do not use lamp. Do not use lamp when you're trying to die. That is a die as fast as possible.
All right.
I'm gonna stay Diva because of their.
I don't mind the
Sounds
pharmacy swap.
The other.
Honestly, not a huge fan of RMA. I'd rather see like a Reaper or a Doomfist or hell, even like a Widowmaker.
Healing for you.
I'm gonna heal this.
Where's their Pharah?
So here, Blue. In general, though, you guys have a little bit of a tendency to do this. Your whole team is like the bulk of your team is still way back over here, coming from spawn. The limited amount of ult you're going to gain by standing here is not worth you taking like 300 damage for.
Corner.
Ferris is low.
And using like a ton of your DM for.
Come to the edge, Rigo. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, what are you guys doing so far? I'm kind of cool.
Yeah. So blue, you also want to be playing kind of more in Kua's hip pocket. But as a whole here, you guys could be a little bit more aggressive, take a little bit more space. Rigo, I'd like to see you playing a little more aggressively at this corner, because then you can peek out and come back around this corner, whereas if you play back over here, then you have to come like all the way out here. Whereas if you get like right up onto the corner, you can just kind of poke in and out, in, out, in, out. Does that make sense? Because also like Kurt is all the way back here. You guys can push them and be a little bit more aggressive. Because they've got one person who's standing on point.
Sigma rock.
And we have Sassy Dolphin.
Dead.
Okay, you get a pick. This is where you press W. Because nobody is like on critical health. Rigo's half health, but like he's got a mercy up his butt. It's fine.
Holy man.
I was gonna get the Sigma, I missed.
So like here, Kua, don't put your shield here, right? Put your shield up here. Be aggressive with it. Take space, because now you've given them this much space. You have to trust that Riley's going to keep you up.
Freezing. That mate's dead. I'm on their Sigma. Freezing Sigma.
This is good. Here, this is where you keep pushing. Just you keep pushing. You keep pushing.
I can. Where do I can res?
Where did 2 die?
No, we're
Nobody's
fine.
dead.
We're fine. They're.
I killed Amora.
DM me.
Should you push to the corner here? Or is this about where you want to sit?
Depends. If you had pushed more aggressively initially and gotten like the Orisa when she was standing here, then you could probably get away with holding corner. But because the Orisa's still alive, then holding boss is fine.
Okay.
Rigo, remember, try and stay in the air more. You're playing Sky Junkrat. Not Junkrat. Sky Junkrat. Important part there being Sky. This is all good.
This fight with Blizzard.
Okay.
I think they have their file, so...
Okay. So, Riley says, I think they have Farah. Sure. Good choice. Then it becomes, what are we doing against it? So that's where it becomes like blue. Then this is where a call needs to be made, like try to save DM for this. I'm not saying like that's necessarily blue. That's not necessarily you that needs to do that. But if you hear that, that should kind of trigger like a yes, I will try to save DM. But like somebody should say that, right? So we're starting to get some ult in here consistently. Oh my Jesus.
What? Who was that?
Dolphin.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was
I
Dolphin.
wonder if that was a part of the stream or just him goofing around.
No, that was him. That was just him joining the call.
Dolphin showing up to do dolphin things.
He was coach enough.
Yeah, so I'd like to see you guys work on like getting ult tracking a little bit more consistently. Because when you do,
I wasn't ult tracking at all this game.
that's
I was
fine.
just playing.
Hopefully, I'm going to put this on supports. Hey,
Oh,
You
Frodo
guys-
only needs to remember one thing: speed, bro.
you guys can. I'd like to see, ideally, supports, and like it can be a team thing, right? Like it just needs one person to start this conversation in between fights of, what else do they have? And then the whole team can contribute. I don't care, right? But I just want somebody to take charge of it and say, in between every single fight, what do they have? What do we have? Because for the most part, like, your ult tracking is actually not bad. Most of the time where you guys run into trouble is that you guys just don't ult track, or somebody only says, yeah, they have one ult, and you don't talk about, like, you just go like, yes, they have Pharah, but you don't talk about any of these other things about whether or not they have them. So I'd like to see a little bit more consistency out of ult tracking. Also, next part comes with communicating our ults. Don't stack these. Because I do remember Mass saying, let's use Blizzard. We didn't talk about using Super, we didn't talk about using Window, and then we throw both in into a fight. But we actually get a pretty decent Blizzard out.
Freezing the Sigma again?
The other thing is, you kind of do it, Kua. But if, again, right, like, play a little more aggressively. Play this corner around the bus. I would also like to see, just in general, when we have Blizzards, you can also halt Blizzard. So you throw your halt, like, here and activate here, so that if people are trying to back out, they get halted back into the Blizzard. Does that make sense? Who even still here?
I'm here.
I'm listening, bro.
Does that make sense?
I don't.
Does that make sense, Kua?
Yeah, I knew that, but I was just shooting through Riley's window.
No, I know. But yeah, so you guys communicate. You guys threw in Supercharger and Window.
No, I heard Med's like, okay, I'm a Blizzard. I'm like, okay, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm a
Oh
Supercharger.
my
I said, I'm
god!
ulting. I was like,
And
I'm
you guys
ulting.
also threw in Barrage into a fight that you probably could have won off of just Blizzard. Maybe Window as well.
Rodrigo
So
wants
now-
to make it secure, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Now you guys have no ults, and they're coming back with 5.
Yeah.
Aha! Ult economy.
Nice.
Right? If you win that fight with Blizzard, then you can use Window. You can use Supercharger to stall and try and
Probably a good call.
trade for some of their ults.
A good call after we
So-
started winning that fight would have been no more ults to make sure that we were winning
Yes.
everybody.
I'm pushing up. We just
Probably too many ults, Dolphin.
Yeah, back up. Alright, so they have
Probably.
Barrage, they have Blizzard too, since I just used mine. They also have Bongo, all their 4 ults. They're basically 6 ults. What are we gonna do about it?
Lose.
There's Blizzard.
Yeah.
Die.
It doesn't matter, girl. You're gonna die.
I died. I'm dead.
Thank you,
I don't know how I
Sam.
made
Blizzard
it
as
out.
well.
That was so whack.
Calm down.
Oh, that's unlucky. That's so
That's unlucky, but Blue.
That's
Blue-
so
that's why I
Yeah.
do it. Fuck.
That's
Yeah,
so
you've-
unlucky.
That's pretty fun.
You've also already lost 2 here, so
Yeah, just die.
my preference
No.
is I'd rather just see you just, like, yeet yourself off this cliff, or
Okay.
yeet yourself onto point to die, and stall a payload, and
I was
save that.
eating myself and
Dude,
my
I was so
bomb
confused what
before.
happened to the bomb. I was like, how did that not get anybody?
Right. So, like, in some situations, it's okay to throw in an ult when you're down, but, like, they've just invested really heavily into it, and, like, a bunch of your team has gone low, and, like, even if you do manage to get a pick or 2, right, like, that's still a really tough fight for you guys to turn around, because you're still at massive spawn disadvantage, right? Whereas if you wait until, like, end of second over here and throw that bomb, then maybe you have a chance to turn it around because your spawns are a little bit closer, or, like, equidistant.
No, I believe. I think Blue got a big bomb there. I think she would have killed like everybody on the plane.
Oh my god, look who shows up.
Give us some space. Give us some space.
It's Dolphin!
Yeah, just reset.
Talking
Team
about
ma'am.
I don't want to do that.
What?
They're talking
Yeah,
about
wait,
like
When you get picked by the
places.
far.
If they don't touch the point,
They're not on
landing-
point.
They're not C9.
Okay, now they're on point.
There's only one on point. So
I'm confused. What?
That means
They're
they're gonna
Yeah,
be
they're out. They're out.
Dolphin doesn't want to be an adult, basically.
Yeah,
Basically.
everything
Thank you.
Oh,
We can try to.
no worries.
I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go up and up out again.
Going by myself.
I don't know why as a kid, I don't know why as kids we want to all to grow up fast, and when we're all adults we're like, fuck being an adult, bro.
Can we acknowledge that Blue stalled the cart here?
No, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But if
was
she had
the-
bomb, she could have stolen it better.
Good play.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
I love your comment on the fight before this, or well, technically 2 fights before this, where you're like, "Huh, maybe too many ults after they Blizzard Supercharger window and then throw in Barrage at the end." I'm like, yeah, maybe Dolphin, maybe.
Oh, is this you're using my Twitch? Okay.
Yeah.
You get some of the live comments.
Also,
like watching Dolphin shit. Dude, that's
just know, guys, when I tease you
How did
guys,
that barrage
like,
miss me?
it's all in good nature. Like, don't worry. Like, me and my team were more than guilty of this. Like, we did all these exact same
I
things.
find it
for,
funny
like,
because when he says it, I'm
3
like,
months.
he's right. We
Like-
do it.
Like, we know it happens. We're just like, sometimes, you just have to look at it and go like. Sometimes it just be like that, and you just gotta laugh.
Have you talked about why Orisa Sigma is better than Orisa Diva?
I have not, because I was just trying to do
Is it
general
because you
things.
have 2 shields?
Well, I mean, it just like think about why like Hog Ball is really crap for your DPS and healers. Like you have no damage mitigation from your tanks at all. Like yes, I know Diva has DM, but you only have 2 seconds of it. Like Sigma just puts out a shield and it's so much space. It's so much like
Yeah.
you can't put damage through this. What are you gonna do?
Also, Diva kind of bad versus shield.
Well, sure. Okay, let's not talk about the fact that Diva is actually throwing, but let's talk about why. Like, right? Like
Yeah.
Sigma just
Well,
puts out the shield and is
Yes.
like, "Here, look, I put out 1500 health."
Okay,
What-
okay, fine, Dolphin, fine. Sigma shoots over shields, shoots around shields, throws his rock ball thingies, whatever, off a wall around the shield, right? Diva just kind of holds mouse 1 into shield until shield is gone, shoots the Orisa for half a second before the Orisa puts down a new shield, and then you're back to shields again, right? Like, as Diva, you'd basically have to be playing an off angle in the middle of their team to be shooting them, and not a shield. Whereas Sigma, you can, like, bounce your projectiles off walls and stuff. Or if you're, like, GM level, you can actually manage to time it so that they explode, like, right above the shield. Or you just be like me and get that by fluke.
Can you
Haha.
pop window at like a far angle here? The ones on the left side, left side, left side, left side, left side, left side.
I'm raising
Yeah.
shit.
If they bongo, this is also a good time to just kind of bunker back around this corner and just wait it out. And then re-engage a little bit later, like towards the end of their bongo with your window.
I thought I had right
At what
res.
point can you take 2
Oh,
fights?
I got bouldered.
I'm down.
I'm 80% to Blizzard. Okay, we gotta
Like,
Well, they
where would
can't.
I'm going ball.
They can't
Where would the
really
cart
take.
have to be for you to be able to take 2 fights?
Basically, you have to be contesting like right here,
Okay,
and then
and
like
where's your
right,
second
Basically
fight?
on the
right
and
at the end.
So where did we
Because-
start our first?
Because the problem was our first fight was basically cart was like here because we fought right at the end of second.
Yeah.
So unless you win a fight on third, if you fight at the end of second, unless you win a fight on third, you're only getting 1.
So I think, from my perspective, is that we don't really, I mean, sort of understand where it's okay if you only get 1 fight on a stage, or sorry, a point of map. That's totally fine. Just make that fight count. Here, you got 1 fight and you sort of just like messed it up because they bongoed, and then you're like, I guess we fight it, and it's like you're going into a team that does 50% more damage, so you're already fighting at a disadvantage.
Yeah. So
Just-
so that's what I'm saying. Like, just bunker kind of back here, because whether you take the fight while the cart is here, or the cart is here, you're probably only getting 1 fight, right? Maybe if you take it here, you get a little bit of stall, and if you manage to get a pick or 2, then maybe you can extend it into a fight. But chances are you're probably getting like 1 clean team fight. right? So you might as well. So again, back to the whole economy thing I was talking about. You give up this objective progress for a little bit of time and the resource of their bongo to basically get a better fight here.
Is that universally true for escort for the third point, or is that just this map?
Yes.
It's
Yeah. I mean,
it's
basically, like,
map dependent. It's
obviously it depends a little bit on the map and like where you are, but in general, right? Like if you're only gonna get one fight, you might as well take it in a place and at a time where it's most advantageous to you, or also the least disadvantageous, right? So by taking it here, while their bongo is still active, and your team is standing here, and their bongo is here.
Yeah, that's
first of all, they have bongo, and you're not stopping objective by standing here, right? So what are you gaining in this fight? Are you gaining space? Not really. Are you gaining time? Arguably not really, because they're still pushing point. Are you forcing out abilities? Sure. But that's not your main goal. And yeah, right? Like, so what do you get out of by taking this fight here while they're here? Nothing. Whereas if you wait until they're here and their bongo's gone, now you can shield here, and the enemy team has to push out and expose themselves. You can stall objective, you can stall time, and you're still trading abilities. So just like make your fight more advantageous.
That's close range brawl.
So,
Whatever you can do.
The difference between, I think I've said this before, but the difference between attack and
we're probably
defending
gonna go bottom left or
is
bottom.
defending is you get to choose where to take your fight, and attacking is you get to choose sort of where and when to take your fight. So you got one fight on defense, so you get to choose where, and you get to choose like how far along they take it, because you could have just left, you could have all just stayed in spawn, and you just never take a fight, right? Or you could just all stand like right outside of spawn and be like, take one fight on this map, and we're gonna keep you from capping, and that's fine too. But I think keeping that in mind of what advantage you get on defense and what advantage you get on attack.
That said Dolphin requesting access.
What? No. Maybe.
Somebody requested access.
I think I saw this like X and I really wanted to click it, and then that might be sending it.
Oh, the whole
I requested access by accident. I didn't know what I was doing.
In honor of Dolphin.
Yeah.
I just want to know who did it.
Yes, I am muted, bro. Yep.
It was blue.
No, it was me because I'm the only one that has.
I was gonna remind you that I'm streaming this right now. I was just like,
wait, are you actually?
No, the like.
Like during.
I'm just like, I've already told you guys that I'm streaming. Don't like.
Why are you screwing around?
Like, no one be toxic to anyone, please. Like, I swear to God.
Oh, I totally said Marcus was trash.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Dolphin,
Even
do you know
admins
about the whole like Overwatch ecosystem thing or economy? Not ecosystem, economy.
You mean ult economy,
Holy cow.
or just
Holy
like
cow. Okay.
Like as a concept, or like a
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you about it after. It's something that my coach taught me. I'll tell you after because I already explained it to most of them. It's in the VOD that Fred's recording. Go watch it. It's really important. But I'll also explain it afterwards. Anyways, we'll continue.
I don't think I said anything. I legitimately
I'll
talked
scout
to who was
first and
muted
start
based
doing
on.
I mean, I thought he was too. To be honest.
Okay.
Basically, major things I've talked about so far are
Come on, you don't know about /W? What are you doing clicking shit?
I know, right?
Or /R.
Oh.
If somebody whispers you /R automatically.
Or you could just click their name, bro. Just click their name right there.
What I did.
Enter.
No, you just
/R
click the
space.
name. You don't press
right-click.
whisper.
You don't need to
just literally
right-click
click it.
Yeah, who do you prefer?
Okay, well,
Basically, major things I've talked to them so far, Dolphin, are more consistent ult tracking between fights.
They're gonna have a fair though.
And then
Did you see it?
No.
not dropping off high ground for no reason.
Okay, yep, they got
When they can do the same thing.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Wait, walk back.
Sorry, I find that really funny.
Can you shield us?
What?
Can you shield us? Can we...
Not dropping off high ground.
Topic to talk about.
Not dropping off high ground for no reason. Yes.
Right here.
Don't worry, I've done that in my one-on-ones too.
Keep talking about no reason.
That forest struggles with floating. This.
Big orb.
Welcome
Look at that
to
orb.
2500, Dolphin. Where Faras can't float.
Left here with us.
I can float.
Mercy's half. Mercy's half.
I mean, I didn't know how to float until I joined Outlet, and my coach taught me.
What are you
Not
doing?
that hard. I should.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate this? We're gonna go back and listen to this one more time.
Mercy's still low.
Robin with Ryan.
Wait,
What
what is
happened?
this video?
Low shield broken.
Is he still low? Alright.
What?
What is
What
happening?
is this?
It was perfectly fine on my end. I'm
This
sorry.
is not what I wanted.
Oh my god, the frames.
What are you doing, Ronaldo?
happening?
I
What
wanna-
is
frames are
shiny.
I want to listen to Dolphin again. We're gonna listen to Dolphin's
I don't have
opera.
Can we get
Mercy's half.
Dolphin to do testing?
They dropped.
400,
Mercy's low.
300.
Yo, Dolphin, tap with me.
What
The
are
seal's
you
one.
doing? Sure.
What are you doing?
What are you
Ginga,
doing?
please stop feeding.
Listen, it was around dinner time.
Can we talk about checkpoints? What checkpoint have you passed?
Wait,
What are you gonna get one shot by? Everything.
Oh, I like
Listen,
how
that
he has
poll
to
is gonna
explain
save you.
who he's yelling at instead of saying it during the VOD. Like as he's recording. Instead of Giga, what are you doing? It's what are you doing?
Ryan?
I don't know what the hell happened to your Twitch mod here, Dolphin.
I think. Oh no. You know, I think I
This is
checked
cute.
my stream, and that meant that I get like 300 ping, and so it probably recorded.
Yeah, you're at 700 ping.
Yeah, like my bandwidth can't take it.
And there we go.
Check the stream. Looks great.
Bro, you can check it in your fucking Twitch manager page, bro. What you idiot?
No.
Kura, please stop charging into Narnia.
Okay, that was fine. He charged into a.
Do we just want to reset?
He charged into a golden Orisa.
No,
and
first
finished up
of
in the
all,
middle
no,
by
I
team.
didn't. I was aiming and I got hit. I got booped to the side to hit the Orisa. Second of all,
Double hit scan.
Charging into a gold wrist is fine. You stop.
Not if you're gonna save a shield though.
Okay, but I mean, it could be
Just let
worse.
them know the
Like you
sky
could
access.
actually hit the Orisa
Yeah. We
and go
we're
past
in
them.
real low. We just gotta play like that. We play
Like charging
the
into
same
a,
kind of
a gold
pace.
Orisa is like good because then you're on top of
that's
the
not
Orisa.
that bad, yeah. But like,
swing.
but everybody
Um,
told me to charge. I was pressing W,
Yes,
and the Mercy
just
was one,
unbind
so I was
shift.
like, there's-
Unbind shift.
You could put
I'm not
Marcus
unbinding
just
shift.
yeah,
go through
unbind
on the other
shift.
side.
Marcus,
Literally
stop.
unbind shift.
Yes.
I'm not
Unless you're
doing no
counter charging,
Marcus.
there's no reason to shift.
I literally say this to like every single main I've ever coached. Unbind shift on Reinhardt.
No, I'm never unbinding
Yes.
shift ever. I counter charge all the time. And so
Yes.
There we
Yes.
go.
Don't
you know,
charge.
like, mirroring the pharmacy is not actually a bad idea here. Rather than going to double hit scan, because they still have 2 shields, and so they can mitigate a lot of your damage pretty easily. So like mirroring a pharmacy here is not necessarily a bad idea. Because their other DPS is a Mei and they're running like Mercy Moira, they're not running like an Ana, they're not running a BAP.
Oh, I just
Mm.
remembered something. Shit. Can we skip it when we get to it?
Yes.
Ace?
No.
Actually,
Nope.
no, we can't. We're all here.
Because
Nope.
I think I comment on it.
Are we gonna watch Kua charge off the map? Please tell me we're gonna watch Kua charge off the
No, I
map.
didn't even
he
charge
does
off
something
the
else.
map.
Cool, so.
I'm 80 to Deadeye.
No,
They
wait,
used
what?
Skull, so they're gonna have Valkyrie. They're probably really.
I think we're
close
not talking about the
to
same thing. Can you
Oh
stop
my
checking
god,
your stream?
Dolphin.
Be watching for that.
Oh my god,
Lily,
Dolphin.
watch your Twitch page, you ass.
There's too many particles on the screen, I'm sorry.
I'm Shatter. I'm going around. I'm going up and
Oh,
around.
this,
Shatter.
yeah.
Just don't come with me.
Where
you going?
I literally said I had shatter. I'm going up and
Going
around.
off into
I literally
Narnia.
I don't think it's a bad idea. It's
There's
just
that,
once
there's
that happens, we probably shouldn't have.
Well, okay. If we're
It
gonna
leaves you without a main tank for a good 10 seconds. What are you gonna do?
And
Die?
you're also playing single shield.
yeah, that's just that's
You're not even playing single shield because your main tank's off in Narnia.
Well, that's why
Playing
I'm
Zarya.
saying. That's why I'm saying for our main tank to not go off into when we're playing with a single shield.
If you can get the point.
I think
Oh
there's
my
a
god, Dolphin on
threshold.
600 ping.
I wish I could just watch this match. Stop, skip it, fast forward. No,
I'm not. I'm literally not. This is because Dolphin's recording is at 600 ping.
literally never record a game ever again.
Oh, you missed
Never
it.
stream it ever again.
He never does this
part
when
of the
I
match.
record and then like post it to YouTube. It always does it when I go to Twitch.
It's okay. We can go watch Poplots' video. He posted it.
No, stop, stop.
That'll
That's
work.
not funny. That
What's the
sucks.
Sad, dude. I
I'm
gave you
literally
a bottle
yelling
and
for help.
everything.
I was like, help
Anyway,
me.
what are we gonna do now?
We're good. We're good. So they
She's
use
killing
Vod,
me.
they don't have it.
Okay, we're gonna
This moth just turned into a fucking wasp.
Oh my god.
Come back. We're gonna go bottom left. We're gonna skip the far
Dude, I love this quality of the match. Can we just skip it?
back.
Oh my god. I'm
This is so
actually.
bad.
I cannot
I didn't know
watch
it
this.
turned
Bruh,
out
I
like this.
can't.
Look, 1,100 ping.
1102.
1,100 ping, bro. 200 ping, bro. Look at this shit.
Just let it
Unless you
happen.
can peek somebody.
Dude, there was a dude who tried to play in
Hide
Outlet Season 2 who was from like Africa or something, played on like 250 ping, and I thought that was bad. And then I see Dolphin on 1200 ping.
Like, my ping doesn't go that high when I watch the stream and I'm streaming, bro. What the fuck?
Dolphin's actually playing from the moon, bro.
My internet shit too, bro.
Pretty
Like,
sure
what
the
is...
moon would be faster than a second.
Literally, this whole defense has been Dolphin checking his stream.
Hell yeah.
I actually like cannot. I can't bother with this because
Like, there's nothing to VOD review, bro.
So scuffed.
Dude, Scuff lobby
You guys
host.
lose, it doesn't matter.
Scuff
Alright,
stream.
okay. I'm gonna end my VOD review here. I'm not gonna make you sit here for like 3 hours like Dolphin does. I've already made you sit.
No,
here.
go to the last
thank
night.
God.
If it's good, alright. If it's not,
hour and a half.
Okay,
No, because we started at like 7:45.
we should watch at least the attack.
Oh god.
On Gibraltar, where we
Okay.
just don't and figure out
Okay.
how do we
Alright.
fix that.
Let me find a blank screen.
That made me
look, I canceled that Mayall, bro, and it was lagging. Good job, Dolphin.
All right.
You know, I think solve that attack is just go upper.
Well, okay, but
Okay.
Thanks,
at
Rico.
some point we're
So-
gonna get in that situation again.
Dolphin, here's real fast. Like
We gotta know how to
actually, no,
fix it.
I'll do it later. I'll do it now.
Leave me alone.
Literally.
It's fine now.
Okay.
Ah, Kua raging. What a surprise.
I'm yelling at
Critical
Pop
point, like where Kua's ADD kicks in or
Bastion is
something
gonna get
after playing the tank. It's like he's just played Orisa so much. It's like his brain. He just can't
Okay, I mean like main tank is
We're not
not
gonna be
fun
able
to
to
play.
get
Has not been fun to play for like the last like
use it defensively.
year and a
It hasn't
half.
been fun to play
year
since
and a
like
half because
season
you
5,
just
since like
get
the mercy
CC'd
shit,
to
bro.
crap.
It's
cancel
fucking
ults, but-
garbage.
That would be like the
And you're gonna nerf Ryan even more. I'm like, what is he gonna do? Nothing.
No, it's gonna be fun because then we're gonna go play dive, and I'm gonna play Winston. I'm gonna one trick
I'm seeing
Winston.
something that I don't feel is
Winston
gonna
fun
work.
on PTR.
Fun, but then they go Reaper, and I'm like, leave me alone.
That's okay.
Also,
Kua,
Sombra
Please,
Bastion, is that a thing?
Kua, I swear, this looks like to me. I'm 99% sure of this that you have golded walking out of your spawn.
See what I'm
Did
Why? Why?
I think I did. I think
I'm not 100% sure,
I think
but I'm
halfway-
99% sure you are golded.
Halfway
I
through
think
the
I am.
match, we
It
should,
looks like it. It
switch
looks like
main
it,
off
bro.
or something.
It looks like it.
Can we
On
enhance something?
full hell.
Can we zoom in? Is there a possible zoom in?
bro. Please do not gold.
Am I gold? I don't know if that's me.
Yes, you're.
Okay, I am gold.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gold.
I see it. I see it.
Why?
How much you
Why
took?
are you golding out of spawn?
Because they told me to go forward. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take damage. I'm gonna gold.
How do you not already have shield back?
Wait until you start taking damage.
Oh, I just fed.
You do not need to gold out of
I
your
did my
spawn.
thing right
Here, just back up. You've lost 2.
there. No, I am. Watch me. I'm backing up. Watch me get cooked in spawn.
See? Okay, look. Here, this is a good use of your gold to get out, and then you get rocked, and that is unfortunate.
Dude, that stun lasted forever, bro.
He got
Um,
heated. There was
Yeah.
Distance.
Here,
I say.
meh, this is not a bad spot to swap off the May and literally just like go Widow and like take a pot shot from like one of these doors kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's a bad idea.
I think he just switched to me, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
No, Widow.
Yes.
But
So I'm
still that would
I'm
be-
saying like just like swap to a Widow and just like take a couple pot shots. You get a pick that gives your team some space. right?
It doesn't even need to be a pick. It needs to be, they have a widow.
Yes, that will also like force the Pharah to play back here, which creates some space. But obviously, getting a pick is even better. You can also just literally like set up your bastion right here, or there's another door out here that you can come in and
we literally
go up to Hydra.
literally what's gonna happen right now. You gotta wait 30 seconds.
Oh boy!
Literally wait 30 seconds.
Look at their comp. Look at our comp. Let's.
I'm going up top and everybody's like, "Cool, back door." I'm like, "Okay."
Left side.
Go above.
Okay,
Go above.
okay.
Look at that.
Left door. Okay, this is good.
It is. Okay, so cool calls when we step forward.
It might
be. You got it?
But it doesn't.
Dolphins, wonderful camera work. I have no clue where they're going.
I was lazy. I'm sorry.
No, bitch.
You can see them through the walls.
Okay. Why are you putting yourself in a small room where you have one angle to shoot?
There's a Pharah.
And a
the
Pharah
power
can,
to cover.
but a Pharah can spam that angle real easily, and you're all looking at the same angle.
Well, my thought process is we have a Bastion, so we out damage their shields, even if she's damage boosted, and we're in a small room with a Mega, so we don't really need our supports to really use their resources as
I
much.
thought we were trying to get to the bridge.
You
but...
could go like up here, set
Yeah,
your
that's
bastion up,
that's
and
what I thought we
shoot
were doing,
down.
but like no one ever. I wasn't, and then I got confused.
We eventually.
High ground is good.
You'll
In
see.
building.
In building.
This is smart.
I have no shield.
Yeah, I don't really like this position
Frozen.
because you know, like
You can hear me say this is smart and then go, because like I was like, oh, I thought you were going up.
Where's Matt going?
Yeah,
meh.
I think that's what.
Why?
I got confused because Matt went to point. We all should have gone up, and I think we should have gone
Yeah,
up.
no,
but
do
then
not
Matt
do
went
not
out,
walk out in front of your shield. No,
And then
no,
it got
no,
really confusing.
He did that a lot on Nubani too.
Oh,
He
no.
wants to use left quick, and he should use right.
Maze no ice. I'm dead.
There's that Mega in here.
From behind shield.
Pull in front of me.
Wait, can we acknowledge
do
the
something.
Maytech that Matt did here though? I thought it was cute.
What?
The ice block to get rid of the Mayfreeze.
I have no shield.
Oh,
That was cute, but it didn't work out. But
That was cute. Don't all Maze do that?
I think we took too long.
Yeah.
More is no fade.
Is the thing.
Now we're
Pulling above the shield.
Yeah, see, so the problem with Matt coming out here now is you guys are all still shooting through this one angle, right? And none of you can support him here. Also,
I like the different color arrows.
if they're holding this aggressively, you may need to just abandon your Bastion comp. Because basically Bastion comp relies on you basically being able to get set up either on cart or some other point where like your position is superior. And it's like same thing, you know, like if you get all the way to the end of first point but you don't cap first and they win a fight and you're on Bastion comp, a lot of times you'll have to swap off the Bastion comp because you can't get reestablished.
Up. He's
I'm
body blocking.
I'm on my way back.
Body blocking, come on.
Yeah, I'm body blocked. I have no shield.
Watch out for Pharah.
Let's put it downstairs.
yeah.
Okay, again, Rigo, you gotta be behind your tanks.
I'm freezing Moria. More is no fade.
You gotta let your tanks go first. This is good shield blue.
Maze ice.
There's barrage behind us.
Just shooting. Putting the shield now.
No blue.
Okay, so here, blue gets booped off. This is a great time and their tanks have backed up. This is a great time for you all to go down to cart and take cart.
We're gaining ground. Slowly but surely.
I'm just shooting the far.
Alright, that's.
Fuck.
We're gonna have to.
This is very bad.
Here, this is
to die.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
no,
not.
Okay, just Sigma.
yes.
Alright,
Hence why I say just
What do we want?
go to like a widow and take some pot shots.
I still think if you guys went upper here, it would have been pretty well.
Yeah, so I think
Get
that
that
would be a better.
Clear that hole.
Yeah, like stand up here and shoot down. Again, also yes, that would have created space.
Because you just get that whole angle free, and then you get to easily drop.
That will also force them back around to this corner.
I hit Pharah.
I fire strike the thing.
Now we just walked past.
I mean, okay, to be honest though, that fire strike and window basically gave you this angle.
I bubble. I bubble.
I'm charging now.
Again, alt tracking. Thankfully, they dumped 4 in for no reason, because alt economy.
So they use Barrage, they use Cold, they use Blizzard there. We still have another push. I'm at 90 to Blizzard.
They use Valk. She literally screams out loud, please.
Get on Lucio, Jesus.
Alright, are you all here?
Hey, we did.
Kua, don't take damage, you don't need to. While your team is still in spawn.
She doesn't have Barrage.
I'm half.
I'm freezing. Freezing.
I'm.
Maze no ice. Maze no ice. Maze.
Again here, don't stand in the open while they have supercharger, just back out, wait out the 10 seconds or whatever it is.
It's fair.
Yeah, you actually, what you could have even done is, as soon as you know they drop Bongo here, back up here, around the stairs, and drop in from above. I don't know. Maybe Dolphin has better ideas.
Like, not a bad idea. The issue is,
I mean,
being able to
I would say they dropped it really close. But
my problem here though is that a couple of times now we've watched them drop supercharger, and then you guys just face tank a supercharger, and supercharger is going to win that every single time.
So you guys have to really treat supercharger like a bastion, and it really has to go first, else you guys die. I mean, it's basically an LOS nano for every single person on their
team. You
team.
need to just back out and just avoid that, unless you have, let's say, like if you have a Doom ult and you could immediately kill it, or you have EMP, or your Moira has coal and it's in a spot where she can beam it down.
I mean, I sort of disagree with that, just because it was right here. I can't. It was right where my mouse is.
Right there?
Yeah, thank you. It's right there. The Ryan was on top of it basically immediately. Just call, like, your call should be supercharger first.
But the problem was we also had a bunch of people standing over here out in the open. And like we had a couple of people who leaked out over here to stand in the open and face tank.
I don't know where I read this or heard it, but one of the best positioning, like, help things I've ever heard is treat every enemy like an ulting high noon.
Oh, I know where you got that. Yeah. I can link that.
Yeah,
I know exactly where that's from.
If you can't get away from it, you're doing it wrong. Like, yes, there are some reasonings besides like sure, but at this point, like, every enemy to you guys, even a Pharah, even a Mei, like, should just be treated as such. And like, if you can't LOS it, you have to decide if your positioning is absolute dog shit, or is it like because you're being, or is it aggressive enough that you're going to take advantage of it and be able to kill that enemy before they shoot you in the face. So like Kua did it, I would say, decently here, because he was around this corner and the bongo's here, and I can't draw. The bongo is here.
Here. Draw.
Yeah, the bongo is here and he was right here. So like he was able to aggress on it very easily. But like the Mei and Reaper were like out. God, the Mei and Reaper were out here. Like if you were just on your tank or even like on the payload, you'd be fine. So it's just like you don't need to open. So like if you have a corner, you can be very close to it and open it very quickly and close it very quickly as you shoot it.
That's what I was talking about, Rigo. Just in general.
If you're very far away, it takes you a very long time to open the angle and close the angle for the same exact spot.
Geometry.
So,
I bet you guys weren't expecting to learn math.
Yeah, right? This is why being closer being closer to corners and being closer to things that you can LOS is very, very helpful. So like I mean, this is a very obvious like thing to a
pie.
Yeah, so like if this is an ulting high noon, right? He has vision of like all of this, right? And so if you're just standing here, you can easily get to here. But if you're standing like here, you can't get to here as easily. And so it's just like it's the same concept. And so like you can open the angle just a lot faster, and you can close the angle a lot faster. So like, you don't need to be out here to do the same job. And plus, as a Reaper in MA, you want to be as close as possible. And so there's no reason to be all the way out here. You don't have to take. You don't literally have to follow the road. I just yeah, okay. You don't have to follow the like road of thing. You just have to follow the map.
I'm pretty sure you have to stay on the right side. The ground.
Okay,
Oh my
well,
God.
can we talk about
Also,
the real
Rigo,
thing here?
I hate your puns.
We talk about the real thing here is Ronaldo throws better arrows than Dolphin.
I'm sorry, I don't have my pen.
I'm working on my laptop on a touchpad. That is not an excuse.
Alright, we gotta go.
I'm also drawing with one hand because I'm playing with a pen in the other.
Alright, it's out.
Ronaldo is a DPS player. He can track.
Bay's on left. Bay's dead.
Why is it red, bro? What the fuck?
First of all,
One on card all time.
First of all, I'm a projectiles player. Second of all, we've talked about what my sensitivity is. I don't track. I flick.
What was that red shit, bro? I'm confused.
It's a sunset, bro. Haven't you ever seen the sunset, Kua? Like, you live in Hawaii, bro.
Above left side.
Okay.
You should know what sunsets are.
Just
fight
woke up.
you.
So
Okay,
that
you
puts me
asshole.
around. He probably doesn't see many sunsets or something.
Okay, bitch. I live on the east
He
side of
lives
the
in
island,
Hawaii.
cuck, so I don't watch the sunsets. I watch the sunrise.
Hawaii is like always. Okay, Kua charges in from Narnia.
I was coming from spawn to come back to my team.
You're down a healer.
You're down to
Got red. Mora got red.
Remember, stay on target. Understand?
Yeah.
I'm dead. I'm low. I'm low. I'm dead.
I'm just gonna skip that. Okay, do I need to watch this
Bro, I wish
defense?
Pop Blast would twirl
Go
bro.
to the fight. The one fight they take.
Marcus on soldiers. I sleep. Just kidding, he's a Maybot.
Okay, just go like a minute.
No, just skip to the end, like
fight they
literally
take.
where the point's under the bridge.
I don't play Ash because
Okay, if you're gonna fight aggressively, this is where you bunker in the room. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's
Oh.
not. Let's ignore this fight. It was okay. I'll give you guys
That's just like a thing for knowledge. If you're gonna fight close, like you want to, or like even this door.
They used that. I was fine with this fight. You guys did okay.
yeah, we came out of here. Alright.
I didn't
Alright, we
really
have one more fight.
watch that fight really carefully.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we gotta unless somebody needs a contest.
I have qualms with this second fight.
Okay. This is a spot where, you could have gone high ground. I know you're not in this, but like, instead of just coming out and like poking here low ground, you could have taken high ground. Personally, that's my personal opinion, but
Fair's low. Fair's low.
you are also low. You are like
I know you're gonna
30
say
health.
that, bro.
Please say that you are low instead of continuing to take a duel with a Pharah who has a mercy up her butt. Yeah.
We're dead.
Rest.
Fair on your right.
Fair's all good and whatever as a first target, but like, who on your team is really shooting a Pharah?
Wait, can we play it so we can see me shatter Pop Blast?
It's like, it's literally like just Meh. And Meh's dead. And maybe if the Pharah's low, then Blue gets the Pharah. And Riley.
There you
Like,
go. Honestly.
She has no nice.
Who BM's okay.
No,
and
that
you-
was a good shatter.
He was grizzing right in
Yes,
front of me,
yes,
bro. What am I
yes.
supposed to do?
No, that
was
was
a
a good. That was a good
Okay,
shatter.
Let's reset. We can.
I thought for a moment you guys were gonna lose up.
Yes. Like that
And I
was
was gonna be
probably
like,
the play.
hello?
Bro, Pop Blast is like, I'm gonna res this. Like, I know
Yeah.
Ku's gonna kill me. I'm gonna do it anyways.
They definitely have barrage. Alright, save for we don't have.
They're all going under. They're all going under.
Let's come back.
Alright, let's beat him. Go. Jump on him. Jump on him. 3-minute flash. 3-minute flash.
Blue, you throw yourself into the middle of them.
Fair up.
We.
Yeah, that was a call.
Oh, me one.
Fair's behind.
I thought that's where everyone was. That was my
Yeah.
bad.
So the problem here, it's not necessarily just you, Blue, because there was a call to go in, but you go this way, and Kua goes this way, which is not good on any tank duo, really, but especially on Rein Zarya. Like, on Rein Zarya, the two of you should basically be attached at the hip, and you should both be going this way, or both be going this way, not like one each way. Because Kua's standing here, and you're standing here. Neither of you can really help each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Whereas if you're both over here, Kua can shield you while you do damage, and it's a lot easier for you to get that bubble onto him and have it actually do something when he's standing next to you.
She can test.
This is where I think I talk about it a little bit, but Kua needed to be a tiny bit more aggressive, especially if Blue's just gonna like jump in. I think you might have gotten booped, but like Fro just went in and like, I mean, that's Subway. It's just like, stop me from feeding. Everyone comes in with me, right? But Kua just needed to be a little more aggressive, or Blue needed to be a little less aggressive, and Frode needed to be like a lot of less aggressive. So like it's sort of getting all of them, like as a unit, like those three people sort of dictate where the fight is going to happen. Just because Kua has a big blue rectangle, Blue has a bunch of bubbles to bail people out, and Frode has engage or not. And so Frode chose to hard engage, Blue chose to basically engage, and Kua was rectangle man. So like those were all three options, and like there were literally only three options that you guys could have chosen, and you all chose different options. So like if you all did it together, like I'm a proponent of being hella aggressive, especially against a pharmacy because you want to play faster. If you were all very aggressive and like on Frode when he did that, you guys probably would have won that fight. Or if you all did what Blue did, probably would have won that fight. Probably like percentage wise less than. If you did what Kua did, I'm gonna give you a like 50-50. Like you probably could have gotten a cooldown out of their tanks and probably then would have won. Or like the Pharah would have gotten a pick and you would have lost. So like me. But
yeah,
I think just even if like as a tank, if you see your teammate feed, your job is to stop them from feeding. And sort of like keep them safe. As a DPS or a support, your job is not to feed. So
I think I'm basically done in terms of VOD review for it. So
Can
if
we
you
talk
stop
about?
recording, you can.
We're not a unit, bro. We're not that big, dog. Hello. Learn your
Okay,
slang.
so I'll go over it for anybody who was here that was not here earlier, and also for Dolphin.